How's everybody doing today? Welcome to Cape Snakes. My name is Maddie. Today we are going to be working on the doors for Bear and Claire's new enclosures. In the last video you should have seen me build these enclosures. Unfortunately, for most of that footage I forgot to turn my mic on. So not much explaining done in that video. A lot of it is time lapse, but what is there you can watch and kind of just look to see what I'm doing. They aren't hard to build, they're just big and awkward really. All the cuts are the exact same for the plywood as well as the PVC. And then you got your substrate barriers along with a center support, and this doubles as a door frame itself. So we're going to be working on the doors. I don't know what I have for hinges and locks and stuff like that, but we can at least get them built and made and ready for hinges, and I'll just have to pick those up sometime this week. Like I said in the previous video, I don't have the heat panels yet. I ordered 120 watt radiant heat panels, and they will go right on top in there, but I just wanted to get it built and ready for that. I also need to buy some lighting because I want lighting in there. They're pets, they're display animals. I want them to look that way. Woo. Turk's misters are going off. And all nice and humid in there. Turk has yet to make an appearance on these videos, so maybe he'll be out today. It is his feeding day. I also need to change his water. It is snake change out day as well too, but we're gonna get some work done first before we do any of that. Alright, so to give you a little rundown of what I'm actually doing for the doors, I have 3/4 inch by 1.5 inch PVC trim. And basically I'm gonna cut each part of the door to the right measurements. So I'm building 4 doors in total. And then the Lexan itself, I got some left over from Turk. I also have some more pieces upstairs if I need it, which I'm probably gonna need it. Once I get the pieces of the trim cut down to size, I'm then going to run it through the table saw and channel out a 1/4 inch groove basically. And then the Lexan itself will sit in that groove nice and snug, and then I'll screw it in place. I'm gonna cut these down to the right size and then channel out the pieces, and then I'll get back to you when we start putting the doors together. Alright, so I got each piece cut to size. I got them channeled out, as you can see, using 1/4 inch Lexan. So I had to channel out a 1/4 inch with the table saw. If you're doing that way, be careful. Obviously, these are thin pieces. You can nick your finger, and that will not feel good whatsoever. Take it slow when you're doing it. Take off the material little by little until you get your desired depth. So it can be a little bit of a pain in the butt process, but it's worth it. So now I'm going to put together each frame, and then I'll take my measurements and cut the Lexan to the size that I need. Basically it just goes like this. And like this. And then obviously one on the end there. So I am going to screw it together. I'm going to have to be careful, but it should work out pretty dang good. So I'm gonna get some screws and some corner clamps to corner clamp it together so it makes it easier on me, and put them together. Alright, so I'm going to corner clamp them together, pre-drill, and then screw it together. I'm not working with a lot of material here, so I do have to be careful and not send it through any of the sides. So let's get to it. I won't be able to corner clamp them, it's just not going to work out. It's pulling in the wrong direction, so we'll just have to do it the old-fashioned way and clamp it like this. that's one frame done. I'm going to do a quick test fit, make sure all is good, and then I'm going to do the rest of them, and we will come back from there when I do the actual Lexan. Alright, so I got each door frame done. They're all right here. Very simple, it's just the same stuff over and over again. I do have a couple hinges. I only have enough for 2 doors to put on. But now we are going to cut the Lexan for the doors themselves. And I forgot to mention this before, but when you're measuring out for how big the doors actually need to be, you don't want to make them spot on, like as tight of measurements as possible. You will run into problems more than less, because it doesn't always, when you're making your cuts and when you're channeling out, it's not always going to be perfect. So I typically leave myself an 1/8 inch gap all the way around, top to bottom, left to right. On these doors I have a little bit more than an 1/8 inch gap, but that's okay. It's not really good. You're not going to notice it. It's not like a crazy 1 inch gap or something like that. But for measurement wise, you want to measure inside to inside on the channels. So overall, I have 33 5/8. Now I'm going to do 33 3/8, so that's a 1/4 inch difference, but overall an 1/8 inch on each side, more or less. Top to bottom, I have 10 and do one of these sides, 10 1/8. So I will make it 9 7/8. Now you will want to just measure each one, because some could be a little bit different. We know what we need to cut. I have a piece right in front of you. I'm gonna have to trim that up a little bit, but so we're gonna cut the Lexan to size. Once the Lexan is cut to size, we will put it in place and screw it in place. This is basically the same way I did Turk's doors, just on a smaller scale, and the only difference is on Turk's he has a back piece to go over the Lexan and the PVC trim, so it kind of just sandwiches it together. I don't need something as heavy duty as that. Nothing will really come from it. Turk's an animal and will do the most to get what he wants. So let's cut some Lexan. So now that we got all the Lexan cut, we can start putting the Lexan in the actual door frames. So I'm going to get started on that. Do a little time lapse. Basically all I'm doing is screwing in the 4 corners so it stays in place, and then drilling and countersinking each screw. And then that's pretty much it. The doors are done, minus putting them on the hinges and whatnot. I'll probably do the 2 sets that can do hinges, that I can put hinges on, just so that they're good. And yeah, I do want to say, when you set the Lexan in here, you don't have to make sure it's square at all, because you won't tell that it's not square. That's why I cut the channels bigger than what I actually need, and then I can just screw in place. As long as they fit flushly, we're good. got all the doors done. They came out awesome. I'm very happy how they came out. Now that the doors are done, I have to clean up my mess and then go grab my brother so we can move Bear and Claire's new enclosures out here, because I still need to PVC cement all the seams, and I cannot do that in there at all. The fumes will just be way too much in there, in that small little area. I am gonna throw hinges on 2 of the doors that I can. I'm not gonna film that part, that's pretty plain and simple. And then probably mount the doors on there once I PVC cement the seams and whatnot. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll get back to you soon. Well, since all the doors are officially finished, minus hinges, I had some hinges that I thought were gonna work, but they're not. They're just a little too big, so I'll have to pick some up tomorrow, as long as locks. Actually, I might have locks. But anyways, it's time to PVC cement the enclosures. I really only have to do the bottom seams, because obviously they're not pooping and pissing on the tops. So I'll do the bottom edges, inside edge here, and a little ways up the sides, just to be on the safe side. Once the PVC cement has cured, I'll go back around with some white silicone, fill in all the screw holes, make it look presentable, and then once I get the latches and everything, put those on, and these enclosures are done for now. And still waiting on my radiant heat panels, of course. So once those come in, those are the last piece of the puzzle. Also need to get some lights for inside here, so it is a display piece. The PVC cement that I'm using is Odie clear PVC cement, heavy duty. Basically all I do is I just paint the seams. Because my seams are really tight and flush, I won't have to really go heavy on it. But yeah, it's pretty simple. I won't really film that because it's literally just like painting. I'll set you guys up on a tripod while I do this first one, so you guys can take a look of what I actually do. Alright, so you gotta shake this stuff up. I already cleaned out the enclosures, got rid of all the dust. So now all I'm gonna do, take the PVC cement, it is messy, and then just run the seams. Be generous with it, make sure you cover all your areas. And that pretty much does it. The reason why I'm not siliconing it entirely is because silicone does not, as I learned, does not adhere very well to the PVC. So in turn, I use the PVC cement. Once it's just a bonding agent basically. Think about super glue, but for PVC. Once it hits the PVC, it starts basically a chemical reaction, starts eating it away, and then cures essentially. I did fill in the bottom screw holes with the PVC cement itself. I never tried that before, so we're gonna see how it works. Additionally, what I'm going to do is once it is officially cured, I will take some water and pour it on the inside of here just to make sure that it is watertight. I don't want anything leaking out that will cause problems, rot the plywood underneath. I think additionally what I might do is silicone over the PVC cement itself and give that a shot. So both enclosures are PVC cemented. We just gotta wait for them to cure now, and then I will do a test fill with water to make sure that all the seams are properly sealed. If they are not, then I'll drain the water and seal whatever spots are leaking. In the meantime, it's just a waiting game, waiting for the heat panels to come in, as well as until those come in, the most I can do is silicone up the screw holes, the seams that are exposed, and just to give it that nice finished look. Mount the doors, those I'll have to pick up some hinges and locks for those. And that's pretty much it. So for now, these are done. Next project is the incubator, which I should be doing next weekend. I will be filming that. That's a first for me, so I don't think it's going to be too complicated. PVC is very insulated. There are commercially available incubators that you can buy that are made out of PVC. I will have to buy some tubs first to make sure my measurements are proper. This is the last of the enclosures. Next is the incubator, and that pretty much wraps up all the building for now. But if you have any questions on these enclosures or any other builds, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'll try to get to you. You'll probably have better luck on Instagram, so go give me a follow at Cape_Snakes508 and shoot me a DM if you have any questions. But for now, that wraps up this video. Like, subscribe, do what you gotta do, and I hope you have a great day.